If you have ever visited the forests in Latin America and the Caribbean, you may have stumbled upon a gigantic mound like this and wondered, what on earth lives in there? In this case, the mound is home to a colony of leafcutter ants. While this nest may seem large on the outside, leafcutter nests can have over 20 cubic meters of volume underground, making them even larger. Leafcutter ants are an industrious insect who can defoliate an entire tree in just under a day. The species that is pictured here and that I observed is most likely Atta cephalotes, as that is the most common leafcutter species in Costa Rica. Leafcutter ants make up about a quarter of all herbivory in neotropical forests. They take leaf fragments back to their nests, where the leaves are chewed into pulp, fertilized, spread, and inoculated with a fungus. They then farm this fungus, which makes up the majority of their diet. As with many social insects, there is a caste system within each leafcutter colony. The majors are the largest ants. This caste clears pathways to the nest and defends the nest from predators. The mediae are the next smallest ants. This caste cuts and transports the bulk of the leaves back and forth to the colony. Now the minors are even smaller ants, and this caste rides along top of some of the leaf cuttings to protect the mediae caste from parasitic fork flies and other dangers. You can see a few minors along the top of leaf cuttings in this video. Minims are the smallest ants, whose caste cares for the garden and the larvae within the nest. The ants have a mutualistic relationship with the fungus they farm. The ants rely on the fungus for food, while the fungus relies on the ants for nutrients. The ants are so attuned to the needs of the fungus that they can understand how a food source is impacting fungal growth and change it if needed. The ants have another mutualism with a bacteria that they use as an antimicrobial agent against mold that threatens their fungus gardens. Many leafcutter gardens also contain nitrogen-fixing bacterium, which helps incorporate more nitrogen into the ants' biomass. I was able to see so many leafcutter ants over my spring break in Costa Rica. I observed that the ants were most often active around dawn, dusk, and during the night. I was told by guides that they do this so that they do not overexert themselves in the peak heat in the middle of the day. This saves them a lot of energy in the long run. When it would rain, I hardly saw any of the ants at work. However, the trails that the leafcutter ants made were very distinctive and easy to see against the crowded forest floor, even in the dark. Leafcutter ants are critical to the ecosystems that they inhabit in many ways. Firstly, they help regulate vegetation growth through their prolific herbivory. In addition to this, they are an important source of food for many organisms. When leafcutter ants make their nests, they create a lot of soil turnover, which increases the heterogeneity of carbon and nutrients within the dirt. This makes them very important parts of the nutrient cycle within the neotropics. Despite their incredible ecological importance, leafcutter ants are being increasingly threatened by disappearing forests in the New World neotropics.
Ants go marching one by one.